Hey everyone, it's Michael, and it is June 15th, and I just filmed my week 11 reflection, but today this video is my week 9 and my week 10 joined reflection. And what can you do? What can you do? I don't know how any of these videos are going to get released. I made a week 8 video, which is honestly probably feels unfinished in my mind, and just kind of like messy, but that's like from probably a month ago now, and we're gonna just roll with that one for that. But for 9 and 10, I want to cover my tracks, and just give you guys as proper as a video as I feel like I can give right now. Refer to the video titled like Overcoming My Artist Block to know more about why I was not able to make these videos. But in short, I just was incredibly disoriented. I felt super blocked, and it was hard for me to keep up the consistency of reading these, doing my pages, going on my artist date. So I really was in like big block around this time, which was like following a declined application of mine and a trip to Mexico, which was great, but you know, that happened. I got notice of my application denial in Mexico, so I think that kind of like tainted that experience a little bit. And I think also travel can be a little bit disorienting. But anyways, I'm doing week 9 and week 10 together because we need to move past this. And something that I've learned from week 11 was that you need to make your own rules, and that's okay. So let's go through it in a fun, quick way. Week 9 was recovering a sense of compassion, which I think is a nice place to start for us. I'll read. This week finds us facing the internal blocks to creativity. It may be tempting to abandon ship at this point. Don't. I was feeling it. We will explore and acknowledge the emotional difficulties that beset us in the past as we made creative efforts. We will undertake healing the shame of past failures. We will gain in compassion, and we will reparent the frightened artist child who yearns for creative accomplishment. We will learn tools to dismantle emotional blocks and support renewed risks. I feel like when I was reading this, I think week 9 was like the week I got the news of like not being a finalist. So I feel like it was hard for me to fully like engage with this text, maybe because of that. But I still read it. It was my sister's wedding, and it's hard for me to take the time to really do everything. But I like this line that she had: do not call the inability to start laziness, call it fear. And next to that I wrote, what are you afraid of? And I feel like for this time, maybe I was scared of, I don't know, when you have worked so long on making something, like an application for a grant or, propose something like that, I feel like the fear after is that it will never happen in any type of way, what you wanted, and that it is out of your control. So maybe that was the fear that came after. But then, yeah, I think that my emotions, I just wasn't able to I knew that I needed to process them, but I was like, I'm not going to do that right now. I'll keep passing that down for a few more days. So, yeah. She also writes, finding it hard to begin a project does not mean you will not be able to do it. It means you will need help from your higher power, from supportive friends, and from yourself. First of all, you must give yourself permission to begin small and go in baby steps, which I definitely feel like I am living in now, so that's a great takeaway. She speaks on enthusiasm, and I love this first sentence, and I think I've actually referenced it a few times, but she starts by saying, it takes so much discipline to be an artist. We are often told by well-meaning people, that was a quote, sorry. The quote is, it must take so much discipline to be an artist. We are often told by well-meaning people who are not artists, but wish they were. What a temptation, what a seduction. They're inviting us to preen before an admiring audience, to act out the image that is so heroic and Spartan and false. As artists, grounding our self-image in military discipline is dangerous in the short run. Discipline may work, but it will work only for a while. By its very nature, discipline is rooted in self-admiration. Think of discipline as a battery. Useful, but short-lived. We admire ourselves for being so wonderful. The discipline itself, not the creative outflow, becomes the point. That part of us that creates best is not a driven, disciplined automaton functioning from willpower with a booster of pride to back it up. This is operating out of self-will. You know the image, rising at dawn with military precision, saluting over the desk, the easel, the drawing board. Over any extended period of time, being an artist requires enthusiasm more than discipline. Enthusiasm is not an emotional state. It is a spiritual commitment, a loving surrender to our creative process, a loving recognition of all the creativity around us. She says also in this next line, enthusiasm, from the Greek filled with God, is an ongoing energy supply tapped into the flow of life itself. Enthusiasm is grounded in play, not work. And I love this. I feel like I've been thinking about, like, I need to be disciplined. I need to, like, do these regimens that are, like, so strict and hard. Toughen up, or, like, dedicate yourself. But this alternative path that she offers on enthusiasm, which is like, your determination comes from feeling like the flow of life itself, and being aligned with that, which is just so much more like joyful and playful and like healthy long term. So I really do appreciate that. And this is the chapter where she talks about creative U-turns, and I think actually I'm remembering I read Creative U-turns before I got the news. And I was like, oh, brother. I was like, this is not a good omen for me. Because I was like, well, if she's telling me about it this week, then maybe that means I'm going to get one. And I certainly did. So on this one, she discusses what it is and how to deal with them. She says, in dealing with our creative U-turns, we must first of all extend ourselves some sympathy. A successful creative career is always built on successful creative failures. The trick is to survive them. So she encourages us to have some compassion, and that we need to admit the need for help. And once we do, the help will arrive. The ego always wants to claim self-sufficiency, but we need to ask for help anyways. So she has like a step-by-step list of like how we can blast through blocks by listing any resentments you have in connection with the project. Ask your artist to list any and all fears about the projected piece of work. Oh, my light went out. Pause. But ways to get through, she says, ask your artist to list any and all fears about the projected piece of work or anyone connected to it. Ask yourself if that's all. Ask yourself what you stand to gain by not doing this piece of work. and make your deal. The deal is, okay, creative force, you take care of the quality, I'll take care of the quantity. Sign your deal and post it. So that's really, really great. Let's see what task she does. Oh, this one, she says that you should read your morning pages and take 2 markers, one to highlight insights and another to highlight actions needed. Don't judge the pages or yourself. This is very important. Yes, they will be boring. Yes, they will be painful. Consider them a map. Take them as information, not indictment. Take stock. What have you consistently been complaining about? What have you procrastinated on? What blessedly have you allowed yourself to change or accept? Take heart. Many of us notice an alarming tendency toward black and white thinking. He's terrible. He's wonderful. I love him. I hate him. It's a great job. It's a terrible job, and so forth. Don't be thrown by this. Acknowledge. The pages have allowed us to vent without self-destruction, to plan without interference, to complain without an audience, to dream without restriction, to know our own minds. Give yourself credit for undertaking them. Give them credit for the changes and growth they have fostered. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Wow. I really want to read my morning pages back. I am a little nervous and a little scared, but it seems like a fun exercise to do in the future. So we'll see what happens. She says, visualize. You have already done work with naming your goal and identifying true north. The following exercise asks you to fully imagine having your goal accomplished. Please spend enough time to fill in the juicy details that would really make the experience wonderful for you. Oh, and then she says, name your goal. I am, a full-time creative, living and traveling through my work. In the present tense, describe yourself doing it at the height of your powers. This is your ideal scene. Read this aloud to yourself. Post this above your work area. Read this aloud daily. For the next week, collect actual pictures of yourself and combine them with magazine images to collage your ideal scene described above. Remember, seeing is believing, and the added visual cue of your real self in your ideal scene can make it far more real. And then there's some more, but I think I'm going to leave that at that because I'm already over 10 minutes on this video and I wanted to do week 10 as one, but we're actually going to save that for part 2. And yeah, that's going to be that. But thanks for going on this wild, wacky adventure with me, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.